This has been a brilliant interview, and some of the questions were the best ones so far.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now. Shani and Ofer from StormbounD. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Album coming out. I have to obviously start with a very simple but I think logical question. Why is an album called December coming out in August?
December is not about a month of the year. It's just the name we gave that creature that you see on the cover of the album. His name is December, and he represents the powers of nature that will be revenge, that will lay their revenge on the human race for destroying the planet, and especially the Western culture.
As we're speaking, we are days away, really, of a worldwide release. However, you guys already played release shows back home in Israel. You brought for the release show itself also a couple of interesting guests out. Just this whole roller coaster of getting this cycle started must have been quite exciting. Can you just walk me through some of the things that already happened and what that show was like for you?
Sure. So it was our first headline show. This is, first of all, was very exciting. We had like a lot of guest performances from many other local bands in Israel. Many talented people who joined us on stage. We also had a few festival shows before, and an opening for Epica just a week before that, before the headline show. So it's very exciting times for us.
Yeah. Now, what was more exciting for you? The fact that you get to play not only your headline show and also with bands like Epica, and that's great, or just the fact that a lot of what you guys have been doing was under this pandemic situation, and for basically the longest time of the band was a pure online band, if you will. But now you're actually starting to see real people react to your music and engage with you. Like, what's that like? Was that crazy to see that, hey, this is actually happening?
Yeah, that's the feeling that we started to get. We had a little bit of that at the festivals and a little bit of the other shows. But when we did our album release show, it was the most amazing thing when you see people sing. The house was full. I think it was sold out, and there were hundreds of people, and they were singing our lyrics, and we were shocked, and that was the best experience you can have as a beginning, as a new band.
So let's go into this album and the concept behind it. Now, Ofer, you're already mentioning that December, the name of the creature that is here to kind of take its vengeance on humanity, the human race. That comes out throughout the album in different ways, right? Because some are a little bit more, let's say, straightforward songs that charge right at certain elements in society that you don't agree with. There's other songs that are a little bit more about, hey, embrace yourself and be who you are.
Especially the last song we put out, Child's Play.
Exactly. I was just about to say that's really about finding who you are and having the self-esteem.
It's about the struggle to be who you want to be. You only live once, right? So it's that struggle that you have, and especially when you want to do something special, something that not everybody does. You get a lot of negativity.
brings back also obviously memories. I think it was the first song that you guys made a video for, Altar of Innocence. I could be wrong. But in that one, you guys are, and I think that even in the description of that video, you kind of, it's an all-out, if you will, attack on, was it the violent, racist, and misogynistic, hateful society you live in. Now, that can be many layers, and that also in the video itself, there's multiple elements that come out. We see abuse, we see, just society in general. There's also, references to religion, for example, and oppression through religion. I could imagine, I've never lived in Israel, but I could imagine that is a song or a story that, or lyrics that raise some eyebrows. Is that true? Like, did you get a lot of negativity, as you said, when you release a song like that?
Yes, a lot of people didn't like it.
But metalheads, I think,
metalheads like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's not uncommon for metalheads. That's true.
We got it. We got some responses from metalheads, not only in Israel. We got some responses from metalheads who are also religious, and they got mad.
Yeah.
Especially at me screaming, "There's no God." And your faith has forsaken you now, and lyrics like that. A lot of them didn't like it, but this is what we have to say. You don't have to agree with everyone. I sometimes listen to music that I don't agree with what they say, but I like their music, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
for sure.
I would go. It's not like I would listen to a Nazi band, but
for sure.
But sometimes I hear religious songs that I really like, even though I'm an atheist.
Yeah.
But if the song is good, then it's nice.
Yeah.
And you hear somebody's soul in there, even though you don't agree with them that there is a God.
Different layers in the lyrics, different layers also in the music itself. You guys bring at times complex structures. There's lots going on. Is that it's not necessarily uncommon on a first album. Sometimes I can be one of two reasons, sometimes a combination of both. I could be, well, this is a band that's really trying to introduce all the stuff they can do. Or that could also be a little bit of a band still looking for, hey, our future vision. This is where we're still trying to find the direction that we're heading into. What's that for you guys?
Second option. We had many ideas. It's not like we said, let's make the first album, let's make it a buffet and see what people like to eat the best. This was not the idea. This is what came about because everybody brought some of their old stuff to the band, especially Pavel, the bass player, and I have old songs that we wrote but never had a band to play with, and they're a bit different. And Yael wrote some, and Shani has got some ideas, and also Yuval, our drummer, and this is how it came about. The album is kind of diverse. I think that the second album would be a little bit more focused, but we are going to do a lot of things because this is what we like to do. Yeah. We like doing different things because we're all musicians of many years.
Are you seeing already in these shows that you were playing that some of the songs that were one way on the album have to come out slightly different on the stage? Because at the end of the day, even with with 6 people in a band, there's only so much you can do, right? Especially if you have a very complex or layered sound on an album. You either have to resort to some onstage magic, or you have to kind of massage your songs a little bit so that they work really well live for the band. So I know, Shani, have you seen any noticeable differences already? Is that something that you guys are working on to kind of make some slightly updates to the songs?
There are definitely some adaptations we do. to make it sound good live. Yeah, but mostly, I mean, things that we can play live obviously are we play it with computer.
Yeah.
And there are slight differences, but we try to keep obviously the song as much similar to the studio.
Yeah.
There is only one song that we had to change. I wouldn't say significantly, but there are noticeable changes, and that's Shadows. Because this song was not recorded like in a traditional way, and then there were many ideas that were just done in the studio. Some of them with not with real instruments. And then when we said we're going to play that live, we thought maybe we should do this completely 100% live, right? And this is how. So we changed everything, and we have a violin player that joins us, and we have a flute player that joins us, and we play it 100% live. We also play 100% live as much as we can in the other songs, but this one has no playback to it.
Right.
And it makes it a special.
Let's just kind of jump a little bit ahead, ridiculously ahead. A lot of the bigger bands in this genre that, combine the, power and symphony, if you will. A lot of those bands have eventually played with live orchestra to really complement their sound. Is that like, if I were to ask you like, hey, what does the bucket list look like? A live show with a full orchestra and a choir, is that something that you want to get to?
Yeah, that would be very cool.
If I had Aladdin coming to me and say, you got one request, that would be it. We are going to do it on the second album. There's going to be a lot more classical instrumentation played live, but I'm not sure that we will be able to do the whole orchestra thing for the second album.
Yeah.
Especially not a live concert, because that would be very complex. But there's going to be a lot more live instrumentation in the next album.
All right, awesome. So let's then look ahead at where you want to get to. One of the things that was noticeable, you said you played some festivals. Some of those festivals had a long list of Israeli bands. Here in North America, there are very few Israeli bands that we really know, or that get a lot of traction outside of Israel. There's a few exceptions.
Yes.
What for a band like you guys, you've got your first album out, you got lots of energy, lots of inspiration, lots of good ideas, got support from great teams. But what do you find is the biggest challenge getting out of Israel onto the more global scene, if you will?
I think the biggest challenge is touring.
Yeah.
Because Israel is kind of isolated in a sense that we are not very close to other countries that we can actually tour, and also it's a tiny place, so we can't really tour inside Israel because all the shows are in the same area. So the closest place that we can go to tour is Europe, and it's more complicated when you need to fly to a different place and set a tour. So I think this is the main challenge that a lot of Israeli bands are struggling with. Because it's really hard to grow when you can't tour.
Considering the size of our country, then we have quite a lot of bands that made it outside of Israel, because we're so small that we're supposed to have none. And we have a lot of them. We have Orphaned Land, and the first one was Bet Sefer, I think. And we have Stardust and Walkways that are playing Wacken this year. And and many Israeli bands go on tour, especially a band called Structural.
Yeah, I was just touring Europe with my other band Structural, and it was our first European tour. I'm feeling insane deep in my brain. I know
So, is there anything at all that you can share already with upcoming shows that everybody watching this video should keep their eyes open for?
Oh, upcoming shows.
Just in Israel.
Yeah, only in Israel so far.
We
are working on it.
On October 1st, we're playing outside of Tel Aviv for the first time in a while. It's going to be in Haifa, which is the like the major northern city of Israel.
Shani, Ofer, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Yeah, let's start the countdown now for your album coming out all over the world and not just in Israel.
Thank you
very much.
This has been a brilliant interview, and some of the questions were the best ones so far, especially the one that was about the diversity of the album, because A, it's a smart question, and B, it shows that you listen to it.
Exactly. I would never interview any band without knowing their music, but I appreciate that feedback. And for everybody that ever gets to hear this comment, I definitely did not pay Ofer to say any of those words.
No. It has been a great interview.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that feedback. I appreciate your feedback. All right. Well, hey, I hope you get lots more interviews, and I hope that they're all great interviews, and that many more people can pick up on this album, which I think, the album's getting good traction. So let's hope that continues. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your Friday.
Yes. Thank you. We'll be in touch.
Much.
See you soon.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.